Hey, my dears! Welcome to the Grammar Podcast. Put the seatbelt on and let's dive in.
Here is what we will cover today. First, naming words. Second, spelling plural words. Third, words for quantity. Fourth, describing with adjectives. And finally, making simple sentences.
Let's start with part 1, naming words. These are the words for people, places, and things.
Now, some things you can easily count with numbers. For example, you can say 1 apple, 2 cars, or 3 houses. But other things you just cannot count. You can't say 1 water or 2 weathers, right? Things like water, weather, and traffic are uncountable.
Okay, let's dive into part 2, spelling plural words. This just means how we talk about more than one thing.
The most common rule is actually very simple. We start with the base word, like book. To show that we have more than one, we just add the letter S to the end. The word becomes books. For example, I have 2 books.
Sometimes, though, the spelling changes a bit. Look at the word city. It ends in the letter Y. When a consonant comes before that Y, we drop the Y and we add IES, so the word becomes cities. For example, the UK has many cities.
Here's another really important rule. The word potato ends in the letter O. For words ending in O, S, H, CH, S, double S, X, or Z, we don't just add an S. We need to add ES. So the word is now potatoes. For example, I bought some potatoes.
And this brilliantly illustrates our next rule for words ending in F or FE. The word leaf ends in F. We drop that F and we add VES. The word becomes leaves. For example, there are some brown leaves. Now, some very common words change completely. They don't use an S at all. For instance, 1 man becomes 2 men. 1 woman becomes 2 women. You just have to memorize these special changes as you practice.
So the crucial point is knowing which rule to apply. Here's a master summary table. It shows the ending, the rule, and an example. It brings all of these rules together in one handy place for you to review.
Let's move on to part 3, words for quantity. This is how we talk about how much or how many. We use a or an when we talk about any single thing. For example, a pen or an apple. But we use the word the for a specific thing that both people already know about. For example, the floor or the door in a room.
Here are a few more really helpful words for quantity. First, some. We use this for an amount we don't exactly name. For example, I want some fruit. Next, many. This is used for a large number of things we can count. For example, we haven't many oranges. Then, a few. This is for a small number of things we can count, like I have a few books. And finally, a lot of. We use this for a large amount. For example, there is a lot of traffic.
Here are a few more really helpful words for quantity. First, some. We use this for an amount we don't exactly name. For example, I want some fruit. Next, many. This is used for a large number of things we can count. For example, we haven't many oranges. Then, a few. This is for a small number of things we can count, like I have a few books. And finally, a lot of. We use this for a large amount. For example, there is a lot of traffic.
Number 4, describing with adjectives. These are words that give us more information, like hot, cold, young, or old.
Now, what's really interesting here is that we can put these describing words in 2 different places. We can put them after a to be word, like is. For example, the coffee is hot. Or we can put them right before the naming word. For example, a new coat.
If we want to use 2 describing words together, there's actually a special order we follow. We use the size word first, like large. We use the color word next, like black. Then we add the naming word, horse. The result is a large black horse.
And finally, part 5, making simple sentences. It is time to put all of these building blocks together. A basic sentence follows a nice, clear pattern. First, who? Let's use the word she. Next, the action. Let's use the word likes. Then what? We'll use the word apples. When they snap into place, we get a full sentence. She likes apples.
Let's move to another example and see how this builds. Who? He. Action? Lives. Where? In London. We just add the where information right at the end. The sentence is, he lives in London.
You now have the naming words, the spelling rules, the quantity words, and the describing words. It's like a giant puzzle, and you have all the pieces. So, what simple sentence can you build today? Take these building blocks, practice them, and try making your very own sentence right now. Thanks for joining us for this explainer. Keep practicing, and we'll see you next time.
Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're building your English grammar toolkit step by step. Let's get started. So how exactly do we name and describe the world around us? Well, let's find out.
First up is the noun. A noun is just a simple word for a person, place, or thing.
Now, some things we can easily count, like apples, but other things, like water, we just can't. For those uncountable nouns, like traffic or water, remember to never add an S to the end.
We also have neuter nouns. These are simple objects that aren't male or female, like a wall.
Let's move on to plurals. To talk about more than one thing, we usually just add S.
But watch out for exceptions. For words ending in O, we add ES. Potato becomes potatoes.
Words ending in Y have a special rule. It all depends on the letter right before that Y.
See the difference here? Baby changes to babies with IES, but day just gets an S.
Now listen for the F sound. To make it plural, change F to V and add ES. Let's try it out. Shelf becomes shelves. Knife becomes knives. Notice how the sound changes there?
Some words break the rules completely. One man becomes many men. We don't use an S at all.
The same idea applies here. One woman becomes some women. The entire word just changes.
Next, a collective noun is a single word for a whole group of people. Take family, for example.
If there's more than one group, we make it plural. So one family becomes many families.
Okay, quantity words. We use a or an for any single thing, and the for very specific things. Just use some when you don't know the exact amount, but use many for a very large number.
Now for describing words. An adjective is great because it gives us much more information about a noun.
The basic rule is simple. The adjective always comes right before the noun, like a new coat. When using two adjectives, order actually matters. First is size or age, then color, then the noun. For example, a large, black horse. The size goes first, and then the color follows right after. Here's another one, a small blue bag. As you can see, it follows the exact same order. Age also comes before color, so we'd say a new red coat. It's actually really logical. You have the tools now. Look around you. How many adjectives can you use to describe what you see?
If you like this video, write in the comments, subscribe to the channel, give us a like, and share the video with your friends.
And if you'd like to practice more, click the link up here to jump into the next English lesson.